Hey guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. My name's Amanda, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my 2021 plan with me. So here's my journal that I'm going to be using this year. I will link the journal as well as the sticker that's on the cover down below in the description box. This year I got an A5 full-size journal. It is a little bit bigger than the one that I used last year, but I really wanted to get something a little bit bigger. I also use my mild liners and my micron pens for all of these spreads. So yeah, let's just get into this. This first initial page is my 2021 year at a glance, not year at a glance, but more, last year I did a page similar to this where I just put the year on it, and then each month I would kind of doodle on it what my theme was for each of the months, and then at the end of the year I had a page that had all my themes for the month all over it. And that's kind of what I'm planning on doing again this year. I just drew the year really big this time around instead of doing it a little bit smaller. So that's just kind of my intro. And then here for this next page, I am going to attempt Dutch doors for the first time. This spread is heavily inspired. It's actually exactly what Amanda Rach Lee did in her 2021 journal setup. So I will link that video as well as her channel down below. But I decided to just do this kind of a spread instead of what I did last year. Doing the Dutch doors took a little bit of finagling. It was definitely a little bit of a learning curve, but ultimately I was able to get it figured out. I ended up having to go get a little X-Acto knife because the scissors I had were just way too big, but that's okay. And so you'll see that each of these pages has 4 months on it. And then at the top, I will put the entire calendar for the month. I think that this will come in really handy as far as referencing when things are happening each month. And then I can also log any events that I know are coming up or buddy reads that I have planned for the future, things like that. That's what I'll keep track of on these pages. I just used my corner rounder here to just give it a little bit more of a polished look on the edges of those cutouts. And then here is where things start to fall apart. I noticed that I miscalculated some of my dates in August and tried to go back over it with a white gel pen to fix it, and it kind of didn't work very well, so then I just resulted to getting my white out. And that's the one nice thing about this journal, is it has white pages instead of the off-white pages, and so I can use my whiteout on it and it doesn't stand out as much. So that was definitely a benefit of getting this journal. But after that mess up in August, it seemed to be a common occurrence then at that point that I was just going to keep messing up. So writing out all these months seemed to be quite the task, but we got it done eventually. Alright, there's my future log. And then you'll notice a little bit of a shift. I ended up having to film this on 2 different days, and so that's why there's just a little bit of a change here. But this is going to be my goals and my annual TBR page. So I have 10 goals and 10 books that I want to read in 2021. And so I decided to do this open book kind of spread. So this is something that I used last year in one of my spreads, and I just really like the effect of it. And so I ended up using it this year for my goals and my TBR. So I will put on one side, I'll put all of my goals, and on the other side, I'll put each of the books that I want to read on one of the pages. And then I'll just have check boxes that I will check off as I accomplish those goals. And here I realized that the cutout pages were causing my pen to go off kilter, and so I had to pull in a notebook to just kind of give it some extra stability so I could draw this shape and have semi-straight lines. I typically don't use a ruler. For these pages though, I end up pulling in a ruler just because the lines are so close together, and to get it to look right, I ended up needing to get a ruler. And by a ruler, I mean a bookmark that I got. It's a plastic bookmark and it's flexible and it works just as good as a ruler, so it's just a straight edge that I kind of carry around with me when I'm doing my journaling. If you haven't already seen my 2021 goals video and my 2021 TBR video, I will link those down below in the description box as well as up in the cards so that you can go check those out and get a little bit more detail and explanation into the goals that I've set and the books that I'm planning on reading. Alright, and then this next spread is my Buddy Reads spread. This is going to end up being exactly how I did it last year. I really liked the way that it functioned and the way it ended up looking. And so it's just kind of in the vein of a library card, and I'll list the month that I read the book, the title of the book, who I read it with, and my rating for the book. The one thing that I learned from last year is that I did not leave myself enough space. So this year, my Buddy Reads are going to get two pages, and I am not going to put lines horizontally on them yet. I will fill that out as I go through the year, because sometimes the titles are really long and I have a hard time writing it in the small space. And so this way I just have plenty of space to write all the information, and then I will put lines in horizontally as needed. Alright, and then we're on to my 20. Oh, I am just now realizing that I put 2020 instead of 2021 stats. So that's gonna have to get fixed. Oops. So anyway, I have a sketch of a book stack here, and then what my plan is this year is I'm gonna do things completely different, and I'm kind of gonna do things in a pixel sort of way. So all across the bottom, I have the first initial of each month, J through D. And then each month, I will color in enough squares in my bullet journal vertically to represent the physical books that I read that month and the audiobooks that I read that month. And those will be color coded, and that way I can visually see how much I'm reading each month, both physically and audio. And then on the opposite page, I have a bunch of different stats that I like to keep track of: my ratings, my age range of books, and then also whether it's from the library or I own it. And I have boxes set up for each of those, and each month I will designate a different color, and I will color in however many books I read in that category with the color of the month. I will determine the color as I get to that month, just depending on where I'm at. But I'm planning on using my mild liners for that and just kind of staying within the same color scheme. But that's the game plan for that. So you'll see that the boxes are completely different sizes. I tried to make boxes based off of generally how many I have in each of those categories. So for example, I don't read as much young adult as I do adult or middle grade, so the box for young adult is smaller. Same with my 1-star and 2-star ratings. I typically don't have hardly any of those, and so they didn't get very much space. So that's why the boxes are different sizes. And then same thing, I will just fill in one box per book each month in each of the categories, and kind of that way I can visually see each month how much I'm reading and kind of where they all fall in the stats. All right, and then these are the mild liners I'm planning on using also on the opposite page to fill in for the months. So I just kind of wanted to keep this all the same color scheme. I attempted to do drop shadowing on these letters, and yeah, it didn't turn out again. So I end up just highlighting the letters and colors, but it was a good attempt. I find that every time I attempt it, it never quite turns out the way I want. So I don't know if I should just stop attempting it, or eventually maybe I'll get the hang of the drop shadow. Who knows? Alright, and here's your final flip through. We have my initial page that I will do my doodles on each month. And then we have my future log. My goals and my annual TBR. My buddy read tracker. And my stats pages. So that's it for this plan with me. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I hope that you stick around and subscribe. And until next time, see ya!